The Miami Heat may have just found their newest young star, and he plays the position we need the most help in. We'll break down who this player is and how he could possibly fit in on this Miami Heat team, all in this episode of Heat Digest, where we create daily Miami Heat content. So, if that interests you, subscribe to the channel, as 84% of you guys currently watching this video are not currently subscribed to the channel. We're on the road to 1,300 subscribers. I will say you guys have been killing it as of late, so thank you guys so very much for all the love and support. We do see all of it, but remember to go down and click that subscribe button if you are part of that 84%. But now let's get to it and break down Miami's possible newest young star, as we need help at the center position. You guys have heard me and Nick call for this before the NBA trade deadline in February. The Miami Heat should go out, get someone like Nick Claxton, Andre Drummond, someone that they can put down in the paint to collect some fouls, yes, but also to rebound, protect the rim, and really just play that purpose, and really that purpose in itself. Nothing really on the offensive end. Obviously, if you grab an offensive rebound, put it back up, be strong with it, be able to make a handful of free throws here and there. But again, not really looking for a real offensive threat at the center position due to the amount of offense we already have. And with Bam Adebayo, who does play the center position for the Miami Heat currently, but his true position, his number one position, is that power forward. But due to the lack of height and really depth at the center position, we do see Bam starting at that center position. Today on the What's Right show, hosted by Nick Wright, he said, this tweet from Nick Wright, Nick Wright thinks the Miami Heat should draft Zach Edey. And I quote, Bam can kind of extend the floor. I know he's not the greatest shooter, and Edey can play down low. I think there's a place for him. End of quote. Again, that is from What's Right show. And quickly after this tweet was put out, Nick Wright himself actually came out and credited Kevin O'Connell, who is another insider or analyst for the NBA, saying, this is Kevin O'Connell, NBA's take that I cited and credited. For the record, it's a smart take by him. Now, just giving the credit where it's due, that he did really re-enunciate it once they were on the topic of conversation, and he did go into it a little bit. But if you don't know who Zach Edey is, he just lost to the UConn Huskies last night in the national championship for the college basketball scene, and he was dominant not only last night in that game, but really over the last 2 or 3 years, as he is a dominating figure. He is a senior now this year, expected to enter the NBA draft just here in a few months. But again, a senior listed at 7'4", 300 pounds, from the hometown of Toronto. He is a freak, to say the least. We don't see people walking around at 7 foot plus. He is a legit 7'4". If you see him on the basketball court, doesn't matter if he's standing next to someone who is 6'10", 6'11", also 7 feet. He is a towering figure. He is a legitimate 7'4". I know a lot of these times in the NBA, we see a bunch of guys listed at 6'6", or 6'8", or 6'9", and it's like, yeah, that might be a little bit of a stretch. The shoes are definitely giving him a few inches. Zach Edey is legitimately 7'4". He is a massive human being, not to mention he does weigh 300 plus pounds depending on the day, obviously. But if we look at his stats from this past season, 25 points, 12 boards, 2 assists, while shooting 62% from the field. This kid was a problem, not only during the regular season, where Purdue had a phenomenal year, but also in the playoffs, in this March Madness tournament, especially in the game last night against the Huskies. He had a 35-point performance with, I believe, 12 rebounds. Absolutely stellar performance. The free throws are not really his strong suit, but again, his ability to really score the basketball in the way that he scores it. I know I opened up this conversation with the sense that the Miami Heat would love to get a center. We're calling for it earlier in the year, and it wasn't really an offensive-minded center that we were looking for. We're looking for someone to set good, effective screens, to roll to the basket effectively, strong, and confidently, to be able to catch the ball if he needs to, make the correct pass if the defense collapses on him, and if not, be able to dunk the ball, lay the ball up, go to the free throw line, make your free throws. That is a huge part of it. But really the defense, to defend the rim, stay in the paint, limit the amount of points in the paint, the quick back screens, all these different things that allow these teams to get to the basket and get these easy baskets. With Bam Adebayo, who is a great stretch defender, he can really step out and defend out on the wings and behind the three-point line despite who he's ever playing against, due to his length and size and his ability on the defensive end. But with that, leaves us really vulnerable in the painted area around the basket. Someone like Zach Edey would be perfect. Again, he's not a good offensive threat, really. If you watch the games, he's a lob threat. It's a pick and roll. You catch it on the roll. He's able to finish the basketball due to the fact that he has such a drastic height and reach advantage on really everyone he plays. It would be amazing to see this Zach Edey player playing with this Miami Heat team. Now, how would the Heat get him is going to be the question. Currently, he's listed at the 13th best player in the entire draft as best available. This is as of today, April 9th. And again, things will change obviously as the draft gets closer. Things ramp up. There's a lot of good talent in this year's draft, and to have Edey at the 13th spot out of the best available guys, and again, this is just the top 15. He is at the 13th spot. Again, he's the second best center available as of the ESPN rankings. It's going to be very interesting to see if whether or not Zach Edey has some real value to these NBA teams as we get closer to the draft, depending on who has what pick, and obviously that will be a massive factor in all of this, and where the Miami Heat land will even be the biggest factor due to the fact that if we're very late in that first round or we don't even have a first round pick, it may be impossible for someone like Zach Edey to fall all the way to us, despite us being very good and very fortunate with some of these high-level players in the draft falling to the Miami Heat at these lower picks in not only the first round but throughout the rest of the draft. Again, our depth chart as of right now, we have Jovic currently starting at the power forward position, and he has great length, great size, but again, he is not, yes, he is a true power forward, but he's not really the power forward we could possibly have if we had Bam Adebayo at the power forward, his true position, and then we put someone like Zach Edey at the center. Yes, he'd be a rookie. Yes, he'd be considered very young, but he's been in college for 4 years. He's been in March Madness tournaments year after year, playing on a great Purdue team who has been in legitimate contention year after year after year, being led by someone like Zach Edey. Again, not a dominating offensive threat. He's not catching the ball at the free throw line extended. He's not putting the ball on the ground. He's not jabbing right, putting the ball on the ground, going left, and one dribble, he's dunking the back. That is not his game. He doesn't even have a jump shot for really, not even a free throw type of shot. And again, if we were able to draft him, would he be a great fit? In my opinion, absolutely. I agree with Nick Wright and Kevin O'Connell, NBA on Twitter. Again, I would agree with both of these guys. If you put Bam Adebayo at the true position of power forward and take some pressure off of him defensively, and the pressure of making sure that he's constantly within 2 to 3 feet of the basket on the defensive end, time in and down the floor to really make sure that there's a well-equipped and well-able defender down near the paint for this Miami Heat team, and you put like Zach Edey next to him, again, there would not be any offensive pressure for Zach Edey to really go out and produce on the offensive end. Even if the Miami Heat did lose some players in this offseason, which, again, we've looked at the contracts before in previous episodes, there's only going to be a few that we are going to lose. And, again, those players are going to be free agents, so we could even bring them back like DeLon Wright and Patty Mills. Again, those are guards, not the center position that we're talking about today. Overall, I love the idea of Zach Edey possibly being in a Miami Heat jersey. The biggest question is going to be whether or not he falls all the way to us at whatever draft position we are currently sit in when the NBA draft does come around. Overall, I just wanted to get this video out really quick to you guys and let me know your thoughts down below. Would Zach Edey, in your opinion, look good in a Miami Heat jersey? Would he fit in? I certainly think he would, due to the fact that the offensive end really wouldn't be like, there would be no pressure. It'd be, hey, catch a lob. If you get an offensive rebound, go back up strong with it, finish it, make the correct pass when the ball finds your hands, whether it's on a pick and roll and you catch it and look opposite, go to the other corner, or possibly even getting the ball on a pick and roll and then having the entire defense collapse on them and be able to make the correct pass with a very active Miami Heat team that's very good at backdoor cuts and screening away. I think he'd be a phenomenal fit, and he played at a system in Purdue that's pretty close to an NBA system. So again, let me know down in the comments your thoughts on this possible idea for the Miami Heat. That'll be it for this episode of Heat Digest. Thanks for watching.